It is so good to see so many familiar faces come back to the meetup. Welcome back to Google and the Silicon Valley Video Producers Meetup, first one of 2019. Thank you all for coming. Yeah. Thank you. I think the question that I got most today was, so where have you been? What's been happening? And a lot of things have been happening, work-wise, life-wise, family spreading out, projects exploding, and our team exploding as well. So we've actually grown quite a bit in the last year and a half. I have a little update. This is a deck that I've cannibalized from an internal presentation, which just includes a couple of real quick highlights of the broader team that I'm a part of at Google, just so people know basically what I do, so we don't have to spend too much time on that. The Google Developer Studio is an organization inside developer relations. We started producing video about 5 years ago. There was a 2 or 3 man team, you'd call it, at the time, and about 2 years after joining the team, started running this meetup, and I would start off the presentations with little updates of how many people we had and things like that. It's gotten so big. I just wanted to throw a couple of highlights up here. This is our mission statement, and I think when we first met, our team was this cog in the middle here that you see video or on top, or I guess we're not really in the middle anymore. We're surrounded now by a bigger developer studio, which does design for all of developer relations across Google. So anything that you see for I/O, anything public facing that looks good. Our design team probably designed it. We have a huge events team that we were a little bit involved in I/O back when we first met. Now we do probably a dozen developer summits and game developer summits, and all those things have video requirements. So we have a scalable team. We have a number of properties that we produce a lot of video for. It's all geared towards developers. So some of it is training, explainer videos, some of it's animation, some of it is inspirational stuff where we tell stories about developers and how they're using Google platforms to change lives, hopefully for the better. This is a quick rundown of the things that we've done. This is just this past year. Our team produced 1,400 videos. We published 2,300. A lot of that work comes admittedly from events where we're churning out a live stream and then republishing these talks. But it's really valid content, very popular. Don't want to read a bunch of bullet points to you, but this is the sheer volume of the stuff that we're doing. And this is our profile across all of our channels, basically our lifetime stats. So 24 million hours of content has been watched on our YouTube properties. Some new things that my team specifically is working on. I'm very proud of this series that is basically presenting some, let's say, technological concepts at a high level for a young audience, maybe looking to become developers. Maybe it's sort of a what we call the wide end of the funnel. Younger people that, or I shouldn't even. It's not an age. It's not any one demographic. It's who wants to be a developer. There's some simple things that you might have heard of, you might be curious about, and we're going to explain them to you in 60 seconds. So it's kind of cool. We partnered with some outside groups, and we're bringing women technologists into the studio every month and putting this out every 2 weeks. We were asked to work on more stories in the past year. And this is where we'll run some video, if that's okay for the audio. One of the highlights for my team was Mark and I. Mark is a new member of the team. Raise your hand, Mark. Mark and I got to go to a DevFest in Kathmandu and meet the people that were organizing it, interview them, and we were asked to make a sizzle, but basically we made a short doc, and I just wanted to run that for you.
There are various kinds of challenges for developers here in Kathmandu. The parts of Nepal are still rural and there hasn't been internet access in those areas.
If we build something, an app that relied heavily on internet connectivity, that may not work properly in rural part of Nepal.
The ecosystem here is not matured enough. I'm an entrepreneur and a project manager as well. I run the community GTC Kathmandu.
We are trying to compete with the rest of the world. GTZ is the platform where they have helped a lot of developers to scale up their business, scale up their apps and their softwares and their practice in real-time environment.
DevFest 18 Kathmandu is an event where developers, experts, and students come together.
So it's kind of like a community event. Experts can share their knowledge and newcomers can learn from them and build something together maybe in future.
Welcome to DevFest 2018.
A lot of other people count us as third world nation. But for us, we come first as people, as developers. The current lead for Women Tech Makers Kathmandu. Building the community has been inspiring and I've learned a lot and grown a lot, knowing how much satisfaction I get from making sure that all these girls get to know that they can become someone who others can look up to.
Was एक हफ्तामा they learned JavaScript? Because of course. I can.
Of course, there are a lot of challenges in Kathmandu, but there are also opportunities for the developers. We use a lot of motorbikes here in Kathmandu. So there's this app, Tutal. So what it does is like it's an Uber for motorbike. The best thing about this app, it works. So it's a best example of tackling local challenges and coming up with an innovative idea.
I'm so excited to be here. The coolest thing that I've seen is how active the developer community is here. We have folks who are building the future of artificial intelligence and machine learning, and we saw some incredible both men and women working as developers.
A lot of youths are mostly interested in computers and they are building up a career here. They are learning to be an entrepreneur, and having a platform like Google Cloud, Firebase, that has been a huge help for everyone here because it's easier to learn, implement, and scale as well.
I'm very optimistic about the future because if the internet access is made available to each corner of Nepal, there could be a lot of problems solved through these technologies.
I'm just looking forward to what kind of new apps and projects this community can collaboratively build that can help our society in future.
So this is what DevFest Kathmandu is all about. People coming here, sharing the ideas, bouncing the ideas, and going off with different perspectives.
Thanks. Thanks very much. Yeah, so a great project to work on. Get to meet these great people. And then also find out more about them than just what we were sent to find out. So yeah, so we're introducing a micro narrative, finding a character that we think we're going to learn more about over the next couple of years. That someone who is in a Women Tech Makers program already being supported, and these people are usually on a track to make a big difference in their community. So.
I'm Nasla Joshi. I'm the current lead for Women Tech Makers Kathmandu. I am professionally a hardware engineer and developer. Also, I'm program manager for an organization named Women Leaders in Technology, which is for girls who want to pursue their career in technology and achieve key decision-making positions in technological field.
Welcome being part of Women Tech Makers. I see a lot of female representation here today. A lot. Like, can we have applause for all the females who are here today?
I've always advocated for making our workplaces and our colleges and all our environment friendly for women. Talking to men supervisors talking to men CEOs, COOs, like innovation officers. They always asked us why there are not enough girls in their company, and we had answers for them. A lot of time, there are not even sanitary pads in the washroom. There are not like clean dustbins. There are not enough towels and everything else. It's just like subtle way of telling women that we appreciate having you here. Menstruation in Nepal is a big taboo when it comes to normal conversation. But if we can get menstruation as a normal conversation, then you can start having more conversations like what do women need and what do women want. You want your daughters and you want your sisters to have equal opportunities. You want them to be paid well and respectfully stand their ground in the society. And for that, you need to exercise feminism, building that community where you accept women.
So you can see that's a work in progress. The first one was published, and yeah, thanks. So the first one has been published, and this one that you just saw is a work in progress. You can see with the placeholder graphics that we had in there. So more stories, and thanks. More to come. I can't even tell you how much traveling we're going to be doing. And I don't think we need to go into that. But anyway, yeah, look for more stories on our channels. There's the Google Developer Groups channel, the GDG channel is where the DevFest things are. And look at the Women Tech Makers channel for future publishing and that series I showed you, 60 seconds. Next. Okay, another product we do, training videos. Not quite as exciting, but that's what we do. We do a lot of them. We also, as I mentioned earlier, we're not just a video team. We have a huge social team putting out the tweets and publishing on YouTube, writing our metadata. It's a pretty big service. It makes our videos have much more impact by being amplified out on the socials. We have a large events effort going on every time we have a large event. And so there's a little bit of the work that goes on. You can see the size of it. This is our editing truck and production squad, and really important decisions being made on edits here. But basically, we do I/O all day, all night, churning out all the talks that are there, and they all end up on the Google Developers channel. And you should check that out. So much video. We make so much video, we don't know what to do with it. So we need to be strategic. And so we try to focus on, we have the capability to make just about any kind of video we want in the studio, green screen. We can do animation. We can go all over and do documentaries. But unless we're doing it with purpose, we're not really having the impact that we'd like to. So these are the things that we look at trying to create impact. So I hope that sort of brings everybody up to speed, and everybody knows what we do here. And the reason we have this meetup really is to so we have a large community, I think, that's interested in videography. I think there's a large amount of jobs in this industry, in this area, doing corporate stuff. And so why not bring everybody together? We'd like to present technologies where video production bleeds out, like AR and VR and gaming and anything else that you can think of. So if you guys, anybody has any ideas for future meetups, some great talks, let me know about it through the Meetup message board, or send me a message through there, and I will try to, put together a program around something worthwhile.